I'm going to get Chloe to set up in position, but before she does, if you set your feet up so you're on a tightrope, it's very hard to have a quality split squat. What we want to do is pretend your feet are on train tracks. So when your foot's on the platform, you don't want the front leg in front of the back foot. We want to create a broader base of support. Anything you do that's single leg or single side, perform on the weaker side first. To have a quality split squat, what's really important is your awareness of what to do with your pelvis. I get Chloe to go into a posterior tilt of the pelvis before she lowers down. As you get to a point where you add a load on your back or add weight in your hands, if you are not creating that posterior pelvic tilt before you lower down, you are not in a position where you can get your anterior core to load. And so you hit your upper limit once you start adding load because your lower back starts to take too much brunt. Watch how she gets this posterior pelvic tilt and she maintains that as she lowers down. Good. So tilt, take a breath in, brace. Yeah, nice, Chloe. Another thing I want you to notice, she comes down with control. She comes down with an even pace. The other thing Chloe does really well is she gets this posterior pelvic tilt and then she lets her front knee push forward. We want to make sure the front leg is doing most of the work. So allowing that knee to drift forward as the back knee lowers down is the ideal motion of the split squat. How you breathe is really important. So at the top of the move, that's where we want to take a breath in and create this brace. And when you brace through your core, you're not holding your breath, you're taking a breath in and you're bracing your abdominal wall, locking it on. So if someone was to punch you in the stomach, their fist would bounce off. When you perform a split squat, make sure that whole foot is on the ground. You may feel a little bit of a bias in loading the toe. That's perfectly fine, but you want to make sure you've got whole foot contact on the floor. So when you drive up, you're driving from the entire foot to get the most out of every rep. So she posteriorly pelvic tilts, she lowers down with control, and she uses a powerful out breath to drive back up. And every repetition, she follows those steps so that she doesn't do one set of 10 repetitions and the first couple of reps are really great and then the rest are suboptimal. Because Chloe's very intentional about getting the pelvic tilt, taking a breath in and bracing, and she maintains that with every single repetition. She has a quality 10 repetitions. Chloe's so well trained, she knows how to intentionally perform split squats. So she looks like she's in total control, and she is. But that doesn't come by chance. It comes from intentional practice over time. When she lowers, see how she holds her upper body in that same position, whether she's at the top or the bottom. So she's not letting gravity pull her chest forward. She's getting that pelvic tilt. She's bracing through her core and she's maintaining that lock as she lowers down using an out breath at the top. That's number one, stabilization. Number two is getting the posterior pelvic tilt between each repetition. Number three is to brace as you lower down, keeping control with a big breath out to the top.